My name is Vincent Jackson, CEO of CTV Capital and somewhat restaurateur, if you will. So the transition from playing professional athletics for 12 years, I was blessed enough to play that long. I know it's a short-term lifespan for most professional athletes. Education was always a big part of my upbringing, my value system. And so, even though I was thriving and have a successful career kind of going as a young player, I was always kind of preparing myself for that next transition. So, dabbled in a variety of industries, learned about, healthcare technology, restaurants, obviously real estate and development, which is kind of honed in to be my main bread and butter here now. My company's fairly young, so specifically looking at creative ideas in the real estate industry to create more affordable housing options. I have an intrinsic kind of philanthropic value behind all of my businesses. And I continue to hear when I meet with neighborhood leaders, mayors, the Tampa Housing Authority, St. Pete Housing Authority, workforce and affordable housing is such a demand. And it's not just our market, it's throughout the country. And we all have dreams, we have visions, you have to shoot for it. You really do. You have to set the bar high, push yourself, push your boundaries, do some things that are a little more uncomfortable that maybe you wouldn't do by choice. And so I challenge you, set those goals high, shoot for it. It's closer than you can believe. You just got to keep working at it. Small steps, and you'll see it through. Vincent Jackson here. Just encourage you to live your life bold. Time is short. It's fleeting. It goes fast. Let's enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Live hard, ride hard, and
I am going to do my best to report this news because I'm really it's really tough for me to report this type of news. We have just heard of a very tragic situation in regards to a former Pro Bowler in the NFL who has recently retired, and that is to do with Vincent Jackson. Vincent Jackson was a second-round pick by the San Diego Chargers in the 2005 NFL Draft. Throughout his entire career, he has played 155 games, was targeted 1,035 times, made 540 receptions for over 9,000 yards receiving, and a total of 57 touchdowns throughout his career. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler and a fan favorite for both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the San Diego Chargers, and he literally just retired 5 years ago. And we have just gotten word, according to Mikerophone, that former Bucs player Vincent Jackson has been found dead in Brandon hotel room. Now, Jackson is a South Tampa resident. He checked into the hotel room on January 11th and has been staying in a room ever since. His family first reported him missing on February 10th, and 2 days later, deputies with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office located Jackson at the Homewood Suites, 10240 Palm River Road, and spoke with him. After assessing Jackson's well-being, the missing persons case was canceled. Jackson was then located deceased around 11:30 a.m. Monday in his hotel room by a housekeeper. So initially, when I heard of this news, I couldn't help but wonder whether CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, taking too many shots to the head, resulting in erratic behavior, could have potentially played a role in this. But if you look at the interviews that Vincent Jackson gave in the very beginning of the video that I showed you, and you even pay attention to the way they are investigating this report, I can't help but feel like that isn't what happened. And for the life of me, I really can't figure out what happened, because the deputies continued on to say there were no signs of trauma. The medical examiner's office has yet to assess the cause of his death. The sheriff released the following statement: "My heart aches for the many loved ones Vincent Jackson leaves behind. From his wife and children to the Buccaneers nation that adored him. Mr. Jackson was a devoted man who put his family and community above everything else. Football aside, he touched countless lives through his Jackson in Action 83 Foundation. We shared a passion for supporting military families, and 3 years ago, Jackson was even made an honorary deputy by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to recognize his dedication to the community. He'll be sorely missed by not only football fans across the country, but also the people here in Hillsborough County who reap the benefits of his generous contributions. What really bothers me about this is, and I went through a very similar situation with Kobe Bryant, it really causes me a great amount of pain and sorrow personally to see a player that literally just retired just a mere 5 years ago, just beginning that life after football path. Vincent Jackson was doing truly remarkable things now that his football career was over. He was giving back to the community. You saw him give a speech trying to motivate entrepreneurs. He started his Jackson in Action 83 Foundation. He was doing truly remarkable things now that his football career was done, and he spent a lot of his time giving back to his community. It's really a shame to see what happened, and we will be following this situation and monitoring this situation closely. I wanted to end this video by providing you guys with a little bit of a sample of the way he would speak to the media. This was his impressions of Jameis Winston when Jameis was taking a tour of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers facility, and this is essentially in his final years in the NFL. And if you pay attention to the way he's talking, you'd notice there's no way CTE could have played a part of what happened to him. So take a look at it, let me know what you guys think, and hopefully we'll figure this all out soon, and hopefully we'll never have to report grim news like this again. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I would like to give Vincent Jackson's family my condolences.
It was just kind of random. Actually, I was just in here working out, and he was on his visit that day, so I was in the weight room, and he was walking around touring the facility, and they just wanted to introduce him to me. So went in there. We probably talked about 2 minutes. Wasn't very long at all. Nice kid, seemed bright. Obviously, a very exciting time in his life. So he was having a lot of fun doing his traveling and all that stuff, and just more talked about the experience of what he's going through right now with the draft and everything, and didn't get into too much football. Well, obviously, it's been the talk of the town. He's obviously very high on a lot of mock drafts, and he's expected to be right there in contention for that first pick. So very talented player, you know what I mean? Had a successful career. Anytime you win national championships, that's something to be recognized. So a lot of respect for his game. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do. I think for us as a offense, organizationally speaking, we made a lot of improvements just with some coaching staff stuff. Obviously, we're going to be having some different players and different roles this year, and I think that entire culture of changing more than just one piece is the big thing that's going to make an impact. But anytime you can add great players and great talent, that's going to help you.
Mike Evans under your wing a little bit. How comfortable are you doing that with the guy, even if it's not going to be in the meeting room per se?
Oh, well, obviously we spend a lot of time with our quarterback, so we'll have a lot of hands-on interaction with him on the field, in the meeting rooms, things like that. So I'll definitely try to, help, tutor him and help him his learning curve as much as I can, or whoever it is that comes in. So.